What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of All That Matters. Today, we're going to be talking about the voice of music. Yes. So, this all goes back to everybody says if you're going to try and make it in this music industry, you got to find something that's your own, your own voice, especially in hip hop. Like the famous Ghostface Killer line, like, I don't want nobody to sound like me. Everyone's supposed to have their own sound. But as we know, as time goes on, everything gets recycled, everything gets revamped, everything gets revisited. And there's just a few extra colors maybe added to it that make it their own, correct? So I tried to think, I've been doing this music thing for over 10 years, or about 15 plus. So since I am very diverse with the things that I do, it's strange and made me think, wow, do I still need to try and develop my own sound? Like, is that something that I need to do? Giving it more thought, I think about the people who listen to my music. And when they hear stuff, now I may end up going on to do different sounds that people didn't, necessarily think of before. But once they hear it, they're like, oh yeah, that sounds right. That seems perfect for you. Because, starting off as a little kid, I was just doing my little weird raps, and like, on the dark night, and I like to fight. I end up starting off with stuff like that, and then eventually I grow up in the middle school and I'll be like, do I have to be like this and do I have to be like that? Do I have to be like everyone else just to show, it's a throwback jam I even got up on here. So, I got stuff like that. And then going into, once you end up going into high school, I finally dropped the Not a Pokemon promo tape, which ended up having parodies and like real songs on it. Like punchline heavy songs. So it went from like My Candy, then it can switch over to like a Millie, where I'm just throwing punchlines, and that's it. So, you end up seeing that dichotomy of like two different styles, but when you hear it all together on the same project, you're still like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And then finally you get to later projects where I'm actually singing even more. Now, people who definitely know me know that I sing because I've been in choirs all my life. And then I also would add like a little bit of singing here and there in choruses and such. But then like I finally actually being like, okay, I'm gonna like actually do a full like mainly singing song. You and me, one shot, that's what it is. Actually, yeah, it's one shot. So that's like the mainly R&B like song that I decided to do. So when I put that out, it was still like, oh yeah, that makes sense. It makes perfect sense. That's still part of the sound. And then I can end up doing like straight up pop joints, like Out of This World, or go like with electro pop stuff, like with Slow Down For Me, stuff like that. And it still all fits the sound, even though they all are vastly different. Matter of fact, like the Masterpiece is a great example of just how wide of a soundscape I can cover. Cause you end up getting like almost like a musical like number with some interesting hip hop musical piece like In Flames. So with In Flames, I go from there, and then you end up going straight over to Masterpiece, where it's like a slow, like sorrowful song of me just mainly singing again, and then it's like more even kind of cinematic like almost. So and then like just before that we're like radio bangers with Woo You and bass. So it's like, how do you go from all these different sounds and it still all makes sense? And the thing that I find out that was actually summed up very well by my friend Braille, when it just had to do with, he was mainly talking about singing, but I found out that basically it's about the voice. Yes, your voice is just the instrument that you use to do any type of thing that the song requires. So basically, in his video, he did a quick little song that showed him going through the different ways to sing. So he's like, if I need to sound like this to get my point across, and then sometimes you must just go ahead and make it sound very proper. Yeah? And then sometimes you gotta R&B it just a little bit. And it's all just instruments of the voice. So that's kind of basically how he summed it up in a much prettier way. But those are the kind of different styles he was saying that, you know, he embodies, and people always ask him how is he able to do all those kind of things. And it's just not because you're really changing your voice, you're just using your instrument differently. You're using your instrument in your own way. And mine happens to be my voice. And not only in the way I use my actual voice, but in the way that I write. The way I write songs, the way I approach songs, you know it's me. It's uniquely me, because the way I write is from my perspective, my own voice. And that, my friends, is the voice of music. Now, that is the thing that I had to come to realize. But the thing is, another thing that really made me feel like this could make it even more universal for everyone is the fact that there's been a couple of projects that have come out that, like I said, are revamping or revisiting sounds of the past. I mean, this year was full of it. I mean, Anderson .Paak bringing back like that good funk, that neo soul, that good little feel good R&B in different ways that revisited that sound. But you definitely know it's him because his voice. Bruno Mars with 24 Karat Magic, definitely bringing back the old 80s and 90s pop R&B stuff, and you're just like, yes, I love this. Even a little bit of 70s with some James Brown like feel to it too. Yes, it sounds like the sounds of the past, but what makes it unique to Bruno Mars is that it's still his voice, his character, and it also ties in the times he lives in. Like back then, they're not gonna talk about Versace on the floor. I'm sure there's some other references that date it even more to this time, but he does throw in some old terms back into, you know, like saying straight up and stuff like that. But it's just like a callback to the past. But still, it's uniquely Bruno Mars because of his voice, what he brings to the way that he writes. And then the last culprit, which I actually had some artist friends of mine kind of talk about, was Childish Gambino's Awaken My Love. Now with that, it too is like a throwback to like that funkadelic George Clinton sound that people admire so much. And so, you know, if you want to hear Childish Gambino's voice through that sound, you can get it. The comments that I was hearing is that critics are probably gonna praise it for being so innovative and all these different things, when it's really kind of just Childish Gambino's version of everything that happened already, soundscape-wise. And I was like, well, you yourself said that you liked the project. What you would dislike is people saying that maybe it is, you know, innovative or new. So the problem is more with the critics, not the sound. And the reason why is because it's still his voice. It's still very much a Childish Gambino experience. It may remind you of something that happened in the past, but it's still delivered in his voice. It's going through his own experience. Yes, it may be similar to others, but just like even straight up rap music, there's a lot of artists that be like, oh man, that reminds me of this person. Or you could tell the inspiration behind this sound. Or, oh, he approached it the kind of a similar way that he did. But I like the way he did it because I definitely know it's his voice, it's his story, it's what he's bringing to the table. Because hip hop is definitely known for flipping samples, taking the past, revamping it, and regurgitating it in a way that you didn't expect it before. That's why I'm saying what is always important to have is the voice of music. Tell me if you disagree, all right? You know, this is you can talk to me. Don't be afraid. Am I right? Am I wrong? Am I approaching it a different way than I should? But, you know, at least I know what I'm talking about. And that's all that matters. Because I'm talking to myself anyway. There it is. Thank you guys for watching this episode of All That Matters. If you want to check out more of this series, you can end up clicking that right there. Or if you want to check out something that YouTube recommends to you personally, then down in this opposite corner, you can check that out when it pops up. And also, you got my website right over here if you want to check out the music that I was talking about because, well, I am a musician myself. And if you also want to subscribe to brand new videos here every other Friday, you can end up clicking the icon to the side there. All right? And I hope you guys have a great one. Leave a comment down below about what you think or what you'd like to see me talk about next. And I will see y'all in 2 weeks. Peace.